Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about the baritone ukulele. This is a really awesome instrument. It's a lot like a guitar, and we're going to go into all of that. But what we're going to look at today is how to play all the notes on it. So there's a few different ways of looking at notes. You can look at that at sheet music. And in sheet music, we have two staffs, or the grand staff if you see the whole thing, bass and treble clef. So we're going to show you right here. The notes on the ukulele, the open strings, start actually in the bass clef. Even though it's a ukulele, it's baritone, and that's what that means, is it's going to be in the bass clef. So the first note is D, and it's going to show up right here. Next one is G. Next one is B, and this one is very close to middle C, so you're almost in the treble clef. And it's not until we get to E that we're actually in the treble clef. If we're looking at all the notes, we literally only have 12 notes. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. There's no E sharp, it goes straight to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then it's back to C again. And then those notes are repeated either octaves lower or octaves higher. So on piano, it's made up with white notes being A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the black notes being all the sharps and the flats. So sometimes that's confusing to people, but on guitar, it's really simple. So there's a D, and this is just going to be that next step up. D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and then we're up an octave higher to D again. Now that is just using one string. So if we are starting on the notes on sheet music at this D, we could play all the way up to the next D above the treble clef just on this string. So I'm going to have a chart right here that shows you all the notes on the baritone ukulele, but there are easier ways to play some of them than others. Because by the time we get up to, so we have D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. This G is the same as this next note open. So these are the same notes. I don't have to go all the way up here to get to that note. It's right here. And then it is going to restart. So we're on G, now it's G sharp, A sharp, B, and this B is the same as this B. We have B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and that's the same as this E. So if we want to go up the chromatic scale like that, we can easily do it right here. We don't have to go all the way up here. Now, if you're playing a specific melody and you want to jump around, then you're going to want to know where all of the notes on here are based on the grand staff. And I'll show you just a basic way to figure that out and a chart to do that on. Here we're looking at the notes on the baritone ukulele as they pertain to sheet music. And we see that the same note could be played several different times on the baritone ukulele. Now this lowest D, it's only once, but once you get to G, you could play it either of these times. The next B, you could play it 3 times. E, you could play it 3 different places. G, the next G, you could play on 3 different places. And that's just showing you that it's the same note, but you have different variations you can play. Okay, so there's a lot more information out there about the guitar than the baritone ukulele. That's because the guitar has been a lot more popular and around a lot more. There's so many different styles of guitar. So a lot of information out there is going to be for guitar. Now I'm going to show you how to transfer any of that information from guitar to the ukulele. So let's start with the structure. This is set up exactly the same as the guitar, except the guitar has 2 more strings that are lower notes at the top of the neck here. It starts with a low E, and then we have an A, and then it has D, G, B, and E, just like this, the exact same notes. Okay, so here we have a guitar and a baritone ukulele. And you see that the guitar has 6 strings, baritone ukulele has 4. Now, exactly what we're looking at is the baritone ukulele is these 4 strings on the guitar. It's the exact same thing as the guitar, except we don't have the 2 bass strings, E and A. So what this means is, if you know how to play guitar tablature, I'll show you right here, it's very, very simple. And you play it exactly that same way, except we're going to play it on these lower 4 strings instead of the ones that are on the guitar that we no longer have. And it's going to be the exact same way with all of our chords. So a normal chord pattern looks like this. So instead of playing the G that it shows there, we're just going to put 1 string here. Or you can actually put both strings on here because you have different variations of that. Or a C would be like this. An F you're not going to necessarily bar because there's no reason, because there's no more notes up there. You're just going to play like that. And all these chords are going to work out their way the exact same, just these notes, and always Xing out those low E and A strings. Any exercises that you find on guitar, like fret crawlers, just finger exercises that are helping you out, will also help you with baritone ukulele. The different types of chords that you find on guitar will transfer completely into baritone ukulele as long as you don't use those E and A strings at the top. So it's actually easier typically. All of your bar chords and anything like that will be easier to do. You just have to memorize your position based on these strings instead of that high E string, which will be the same because you normally have a low E string and this high E string. So that's the way that you can work out how to play anything on the baritone ukulele by basing it off of a lot of guitar material. Okay, so the first note we have is D. It is right here. And then D sharp, E, F, F sharp. And now this G, you can either play it on the D string or do it open on the G string. So we're going to go to the G string and go to G sharp, A sharp. And then once again on this B, you can stay on the G string or go to the B string, or you can also, you could be playing it on that D string still over there. We're going to go to the B string and then go to C. And the C that we're on right here is middle C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and once again, could be this 5th fret E, or we're going to actually go to the next string, which is E. F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and you can keep going up as far as you have frets. It's just going to keep up going a half step like that.